Hey, alright, welcome back to the channel. My name's Bene Alstivi. You already know the drill. We're back with another unboxing and review. What's it gonna be this time? Stick around and you'll find out. Bene Alstivi. Alright, I got the box here. Decent sized box. Whatever that means. Oh. As always, go ahead and leave your guesses in the comment section as to what it's going to be. An interesting box, I'll tell you that much, the way that this is folded. Very good. Very good. This was purchased on Reverb from Front End Audio. And I got to give credit where credit's due. They were super communicative and friendly. If you're gonna buy something and you see their name, they're good people to buy from. And they left me a little note from talking about. Thanks, Aiden. Smiley face. Who the fuck is Aiden? Bene Alstivi. But here we go. Oh, this is a big ass fucking box. This is sick. Oh, let's see. Shit. Alright, actually, I gotta put this on the floor. Right. It's the Golden Age Project R1 MkII ribbon microphone with a transformer balanced output. This is a cool ass box. I gotta do one of these for that. I feel like Darth Vader. Let me see you with my own eyes.
Let me look on you with my own eyes.
I forget how he sounded once he took the mask off, but sick. Let's fucking get this open. I feel like I'm gonna have to take apart the box in order to get this out. Oh, there we go. This is crazy packaging. Wow. This look at the style on this. This is like they're living in a golden age. They got cash to burn on nice laminated infos with like golden borders and shit. They really go all out with this golden age theme. Let's see. The ribbon assembly in the R1 MkII, as in any ribbon microphones, is very sensitive and fragile and can be easily damaged if handled the wrong way. That is why it is important that you immediately after you've received the R1 MkII verifies that it is working properly and that it has not been damaged during shipping. Am I high? That is why it is important that you immediately after you... Okay, this sentence is just wrong. Golden Age Audio, you can go ahead and fix the sentence. It's on the R1 MkII little pamphlet. But I get what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, but it's not a real sentence. The warranty of the ribbon assembly in the R1 MkII does not extend beyond this initial inspection. We're going to give you the most delicate microphone, and we're not going to back you up on it. You're on your own. I guess that's fine. A stunning realism with the feeling of, quote, being there. Interesting. Placing the unwanted ones in the side zero pickup directions. Placing the unwanted ones... Anyway, let's go ahead and take it out of its case. So we got this bag here, and it comes with an XLR cable, which is interesting. Cool little bag, stands up vertically, which is nice, because in the documentation it says that you should store ribbon microphones vertically so the ribbon doesn't sag. But here it is. Holy shit. This is a beautiful big microphone. It was like, it's almost the size of my head. Not a whole lot left to do besides hear it, so let's go ahead and do that. I wish I had more to talk about, you know, but the R40 came with like the chart and the polar pattern, and I could talk about these things. This one just kind of like said a bunch of bullshit, to be honest. Alright, it's your boy Bene Alstivi back again the next day. I got to apologize a little bit for my conduct yesterday. I was a little hungover, not gonna lie. Kind of over fixate, or just fixate period, on the negatives of this mic, which still exist, but I'm also going to talk about some of the things that I like about this mic, and also just I have shit to say, because I also used this mic yesterday for recording drums, which was actually really cool. So let's talk about it. The documentation, right? As I correctly pointed out last time, there are quite a few typos. Not exactly important, but you know, they clearly put a lot of effort into this documentation, so you know, it wouldn't hurt to give it a once over. The frequency response, they just say 30 hertz to 18K, which seems pretty high, but I'm curious where the roll-off starts. Like, does that mean that the roll-off starts at 18K, or it picks up nothing beyond 18K? You know, the graphs are really insightful and helpful for knowing what applications are good and how this will blend with different microphones. But it's fine. I just have to use my ears and experiment, which, you know, it ultimately is why I do this. It's a lot of fun, so it's no big deal. Maximum sound pressure level at 160 dB. That does seem pretty high for ribbon microphones, so that's pretty cool. It makes me feel like I can get a little bit closer to the drum kit than I might with the R40 from MkII. But I'll have to do a little more research on the maximum sound pressure levels of other microphones as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the documentation. I don't want to dwell on this too much. It's pretty basic stuff, how to take care of your ribbon mics, that type of thing. You're currently listening to me through the R1 MkII, which is maybe 1.5 feet away from my mouth. And there's a pop filter. I also have this, so we'll be A-Bing. Let's see how much gain we have here in console. I've got 61 decibels of gain going on in console, and there's like hardly a waveform. So I could go up to 65, but I felt like it was kind of too noisy at 65. 65 is the maximum amount of gain that I can apply using the Apollo X8P. I have no unison preamps going on. We're just straight digital directly into the Apollo. In terms of how this mic sounds, I really like it. Unfortunately, it's very noisy. So on a vocal like this, where it's just dialogue, I'm not talking super loudly, it's not great. You can definitely hear the noise. I don't know how YouTube's going to translate, but you can probably hear it. But when we were recording drums yesterday, I had this and the MkII R40 in a Bloomline configuration out in the room, and that sounded super cool. Very dark. The roll-off and the darkness actually kind of helped it feel bigger than it was. So that was cool. So on sources that are pretty loud, I think this mic is okay. But for things like dialogue, this is not the right mic because there's too much noise. In terms of aesthetics, this is the most beautiful mic I've ever held in my hands. It's also very heavy, which I think is a good thing in terms of its build quality. However, we don't have the greatest mic stands, so I don't feel confident like putting it over a drum kit or putting it up high. So it's just something to be mindful of. If you're going to start getting nice heavy microphones, then you want to start investing in good mic stands so you don't destroy those really expensive microphones. This isn't very expensive. This was $160, I think, or 150. Pretty cheap as far as microphones go. But it's still heavy, and you still don't want to break it no matter how much it costs. So, but yeah, as I said, looks amazing. One of the cons that I pointed out last time was that the way the XLR is plugged in, you can't rotate this so that way you see the little Golden Age project logo, which I'm all about. Less advertising. I don't care really that I can't see their logo, but the little diamond itself is nice and aesthetic, and it would be cool to look at that instead of this little trash can sticker about not being able to throw this in the trash can. So that's like a minor thing. I did realize, I don't know if you can see this right here. I'm going to switch to the lavalier mic because it's going to be rumbling as I do this, but if I rotate this up, you can see this is where the XLR goes through. So it looks like if this XLR breaks, I'm fucked unless I figure out a way to open this, which maybe isn't too hard. But at first when I got this, I thought yesterday that this was in a fixed position, and so I couldn't do much with the XLR cable that they provided, which I thought was super limiting and annoying. But after using it, I've learned that I can move this out of the way. I can get more slack if I need to. I have enough right now, but it's not completely limiting. And I think actually there is a screw here, so I think if I just unscrew this, then I can pull out as much slack as I need. So overall, much better than my immediate reaction yesterday when I was kind of under some pressure and just not physically at my best. So yeah, really the biggest, my biggest complaint with this microphone is the noise for dialogue. Beyond that, I think it sounds good. It sounds nice. Move this a little more like that. It sounds pretty good. There is the noise. It looks stunning, stellar, spectacular, superb, stupendous, sexy, superfluous, scrumptious. And then besides the noise floor, let's talk about the case. So the case that it comes in, I have mixed feelings about. I think it's really cool that they give you something to put it in. However, I would rather have a box or a case as opposed to a bag. But they say to store it vertically, and the bag is capable of standing vertically on its own. So that much is good. The only problem is that the microphone is so big, the microphone pretty much takes up from the bottom to about like here. And then you're left with all this cable that you have to wrap up and somehow fit in here without destroying the cable. And so it seems to me like the case is big enough for the microphone, but not for the microphone and the cable. And I think that a case would have been good. Or just like, you can give us an XLR, but like this whole thing about including the XLR in the package and fastening it to the construction of the mic just doesn't seem necessary to me, and it's kind of in the way. If they didn't give me an XLR cable and they got rid of this clip, and it was just the mic with the little, the bars, and then an XLR input, that would have been fine, and that would actually be better because then I could rotate it. I guess, okay, let me try something really quick, actually, now that we're talking about it. Okay, so after talking and complaining as the way things usually go, I learned by looking at it while talking that I am full of shit. And so I unplugged the XLR, managed to rotate the mic so that way now I can see the R1 MkII and the company logo, and it's facing towards me. And I was able to rotate this thing and plug it in. However, I still maintain that the whole mechanism of fastening the XLR to this, and then just the way it's constructed to integrate an XLR into the construction, I think is just unnecessary, period. However, it is not as nearly in the way as I had originally thought. But anyway, that's a minor harp. Clearly it functions fine. So I'm just going to shut the fuck up now. Let's go ahead and do what we did with the MXL R40, and I'm going to put it side by side with a 57 on the guitar amp, and we'll hear how that sounds. Alright, so the Golden Age Project R1 MkII is now side by side with the 57 on our Fender DeVille. I got my channel switcher on the floor so we can get our clean tone. I'll roll up my sleeve. Oh, man. Hey, alright, welcome back to the channel. I'm your boy, Steve. Oh, fuck.